What is up, what is up, what is up, what is up, what is up? What is up, Grocknation? Welcome back to Grockstar ASMR. This evening in the arcade. My New Year's Eve update video. I told you guys that I was going to expand our categories in the channel this year. Particularly, I don't want to say dumbing down because that's not the right word, but making things a little more simple and quick to upload for you guys. I would say one of my biggest downfalls as a YouTuber is I want to make everything as good as possible, and as such, projects take, a week, 2 weeks sometimes to plan and then do, and setting up green screens and finding effects and all this sort of things, and I want to be able to get more content out to you guys. If that means, commentary on walkabouts, gameplay commentary, just anything of that nature where it can be done fairly quickly. I know I have my golden rule. I do not like ASMR videos that are not at least 20 minutes long, so I think hopefully these, in this category we're doing, starting tonight, will be around the 20-minute mark at the very least. I don't know, though, we'll see. But, yeah, this is going to be our very first Grock Reviews in this channel for the category, in a brand new category, sorry. A while back, I think it was a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I can't recall, we did the Green Knight. And again, I grokked it up. I had so many video clips I inserted in there. Everything, just craziness, crazy, excessive stuff. And it took me the better part of 3 or 4 days to get everything ready before I could even shoot the video. And then editing the video, I had to upload it the very next day. So we're just going to do bare bones in this category and just discuss these movies and TV shows as well. There's good TV shows that are on TV. We will be discussing the episodes and whatnot. So this isn't going to be like a discussion of the show without talking about what's happening. There will be spoilers in these videos, FYI. These are going to be my reviews on these television shows and our movies. So with that being said, guys, let's dig right into this. This is going to be Grock's review of Ridley Scott's Napoleon. So way back in 2020, I remember Ridley Scott announced that he was going to do a Napoleon movie, which I thought was fucking amazing. It actually was one of the movies that I was most looking forward to in the coming years. Obviously 2020, all the movies that were to be made got postponed because of the pandemic, some of them up to 2 years, and this was one of those films that actually didn't get up to production until 2022, believe it or not. I remember Joaquin Phoenix got cast as Napoleon, and I don't know how I feel about that. I know a lot of people were bashing it on the fact that they wanted historical accuracy. Napoleon's a small man, but you can take artistic liberties, and Ridley Scott's obviously very familiar with Joaquin. They worked together in Gladiator. Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor as well, as one of my favorites, so I didn't have a problem with the casting. I know a lot of people did. And it's funny I mention this because there are jokes about his height in the movie. There's a lot of jokes in this movie. I'll get to that in a second, but it's almost like they allude to him being short, but clearly when you look at him next to everybody, he's not short. It's so silly, but yeah, people had issues with him being cast, and again, I didn't mind because I'm a big Joaquin Phoenix fan. This was one of the movies I was most looking forward to this year. It's funny because another Joaquin Phoenix movie I was really looking forward to earlier this year, Beau Was Afraid, also was released, and it was the guy that did Hereditary and Midsummer, so I was really, really looking forward to it. It was kind of a depressing film. We won't get into that right now, though, but it was kind of like a take on mental wellness and mental health. It was anxiety ridden, let me just say that. So, but I was looking forward to this Napoleon. I was looking forward to Killers of the Flower Moon, the Martin Scorsese film, which I will I will either review that tomorrow or the day after because I watched all these movies around the same time. And I also was looking forward to Sofia Coppola's Priscilla, about Priscilla Presley, and I just watched that 2 days ago. So we will be reviewing those other 2 films in the next coming days. Like I said, these videos I'm going to try to get out for you guys in consecutive days here. So hopefully from here on out, in my on my days off, I can release multiple videos, not one video a week. So, but yeah, this film, I was super looking forward to it, and I will say that I'm somewhat disappointed. In fact, no, I'm really disappointed. I remember how pumped I was last May or April. It was April, or no, it was April. I actually was in Paris again, my second time in Paris, and I was at the Louvre. And I was looking at all the paintings and everything else, and obviously the crowning of Napoleon, or rather him crowning Josephine. That famous painting in the Louvre was there, and I was like, man, I can't wait for this, Ridley Scott movie. It's supposed to be out next year, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it was on my radar for a long time. The movie itself is, I think, the biggest thing it suffers from is it's very inconsistent. If you watch this film, one of the big reasons everyone, including myself, was excited was Ridley Scott is famed for his action sequences. The man is an action god, and on the same level as like an Oliver Stone or a Mel Gibson. So I was like, this is going to be great battle scenes, and oh my goodness, guys, there's maybe 12 to 15 minutes of battle scenes total in this entire movie, and the movie's like 3 hours long. It's these epic battle scenes will happen, and then it'll skip to something completely unrelated to the battle. That's like from 100 to 0, and then it'll never get back to the battle. Apparently he won that battle, and that's it. Like, it's like little snippets of these battles. So it's disappointing in that aspect. It's unintentionally funny is its other big thing that hurts it. I won't lie to you and tell you that the whole theater didn't burst out laughing at multiple instances in this film, and I can't help that Ridley Scott probably didn't intend this to be a comical film. It just is, man. Like, this awkward relationship, that Napoleon and Josephine had, obviously is well documented in history, but seeing it on screen with Rock King and the beautiful Vanessa Kirby plays Josephine, it doesn't do it. It's just, there's so many awkward stares, and it's almost like Ridley Scott was trying to like do Terrence Malick scenes in here with the 2 of them. Anyone that's watched Terrence Malick films knows exactly what I'm talking about. There's scenes where she's walking and he's walking behind her. That's a trademark of a Terrence Malick, how they just stare at each other and don't say anything. But it's the fact that he's very submissive towards her as well, where, he has to put his head and get pet by her, basically, get his head pat by her, and they're just basically making it seem like he's this god on a battlefield, this amazing general, born and bred for this moment in history to be this person, but in a bedroom, or rather in a home, he's just this submissive bitch to this woman, and she has him wrapped around her finger. She openly cheats on him, and he forgives her over and over again. She dominates him. Yeah, it's this weird dynamic they have. If you're watching this because you're like me, you're a history buff and you love historic movies. I love watching movies. I'm so bad for it when I'm with my fiance because I'll tell her what's going to happen next. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, now the mutiny's going to happen. Oh, now he's going to escape. He escapes one time and rallies his army together and all this stuff. It's everything in it's historically accurate, but there's no explanation. So if you're not familiar with the French Revolution, you would be completely lost watching this. For example, the very beginning of the movie just gives you a brief introduction on how the French people are rising up against the royal family. They're going through impoverished times. There's low food and grain because of a drought they had. And the country's going crazy because prices for food are way too high, and they figured the royal family was eating too much. So they wanted to rise up and, get rid of them. So, the opening scene is this blonde woman who if you're the average viewer, you're gonna say, okay, that's the queen getting bride away from her kids, which is not how this happened, and getting taken to a guillotine. Beautiful blonde woman getting beheaded, and Napoleon's in the crowd watching this, and they're all cheering. And then it just skips out of that, and it goes to their meetings, the Republic meetings, to their new government they were forming. And there's nothing. It just goes to the first meeting of the blah 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 Republic. You know, it started by the tennis court room meeting, which people in the theater looking at each other like, what the hell is this? They wouldn't know, right? What that was, why they ended up meeting in that tennis court to begin with, and none of it's explained. And it just keeps going like that. So people are lost. I told my fiance right off the bat. She gave me a look like, what the hell does this have? I was like, that's Marie Antoinette, and she beheaded her. They beheaded the king right before then. About a month, actually, right before then. But a month or 3 months, I can't remember. It was in a matter of months. He was beheaded before she was as well. But there's no mention of that. I don't think they mention her name in the film. And that's how this whole movie is. This is the battle of so-and-so. And you're like, okay, well, who are they fighting again? Why are they fighting these people? Nothing is really explained. And again, the comedy was back in those days during this revolution. Anyone the Republic deemed as a traitor, they would accuse them of being a traitor, and they would get beheaded at the guillotine. Something like 5,000 people, I think it was, or 5 or 3,000. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. I think it was 5,000 people were beheaded during the French Revolution. That guillotine was busy all day long. And one of the meetings he's having, or he wants to vote on a war, I think it is. I can't recall. I'm so lost because none of this shit's explained. I don't know exactly what meeting this was, but they tried to capture him. The members of this committee, they accused him of being a traitor, and they chased him, and he was running. His hat fell off and his sword fell off. He fell down the stairs trying to get away from them. He ran out the door where his army was, and he was screaming to them, frantically screaming, they're trying to kill me. And they closed the door. Everyone in the theater burst out laughing. I'm like, is this supposed to be a comedy? Because we're all laughing like this. What? And then, of course, they all go back inside, and his army strong-arms him to vote in his favor, which I believe was to put him in power. I can't remember. And, he makes himself emperor, as we all know. Napoleon Bonaparte does that. Again, no explanation as to how it comes about or why it happens. It just happens. His annulment to Josephine because she was barren, that's also, that happens in here, and there's no explanation as to, why any of this happens. It's just, you get the kind of the understanding that she can't have kids, and because of that they can't stay married, but then they have this weird awkward friendship at the end, or throughout the rest of the movie, until she dies. She gets sick and she dies. Out of nowhere sometimes, like, he'll see her flirting with a guy at a party, another French officer or something, because he creepily watches her from, like, across the room. He just, like, creepily stares at her and watches her flirting with other officers and noblemen and whatever it is, and, she knows he's watching her and he's getting jealous, and then it'll cut to a scene where they're in a bedroom afterwards, and again, they're trying to do that illusion that he's smaller than he actually is, and they have him behind Vanessa Kirby, having sex with her, and I don't know if they put her on a stool where she's clearly bigger than he is, and he's behind her like a little jackrabbit. He pumps away really, really fast and humorous. It's meant to be comedic, and everyone in the theater bursts out laughing. It's so stupid. Man, I'm so disappointed in this film, you guys. The battle sequences are the highlight, and like I said, there's only maybe 15 minutes of battles. The battles are historically accurate, which is nice if you're a history buff, though, including all the tactics they used to beat him at Waterloo. That's all historically accurate. It's just the wars themselves and the battles of the armies aren't really explained. It'll say something along the lines of Napoleon meets, the Prussian king and blah blah blah, and then the next minute he's fighting I think William, the Russian King William, or Emperor William. He ends up fighting him the very next, within 5-10 minutes. It's this battle of them. You're like, wait a second, I thought they were just buddies. Like, I've heard it said, and I think it's 100% accurate. This movie's like a Napoleon highlight reel. It really is what it is. All his greatest hits, basically. Little snippets of these battles, not the full battles. Sometimes it's just the beginning of the battles. When he's in Egypt and he fires his cannons at the pyramids. We know that when he was in Egypt that they were using the pyramids to sight in their cannons, and it scared the shit out of the Egyptians, right? Things along those lines, like I said, amazing. And I watched it in IMAX, so as soon as they're in Egypt, I'm like, oh my goodness, this looks so badass. I've never seen this in film before. He fires his cannons off, they hit the pyramids, all the fucking stone flies and the dust, and all the Egyptians go scattering, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And then the next scene, it cuts to him walking under the pyramids with his men. And I'm like, what? The battle's over. He takes his hat off and they give him a little stool. They open up a tomb for him to look at some pharaoh. And he has to use his stool to stand up and be eye level with this pharaoh again. They're trying to play on that he's short, but it's just so silly because he's only short when it's convenient for them to kind of show it, right? There was nothing about, the island he came from and how he was oppressed by the French people and how he despised the French to begin with. None of that. This whole thing starts right at the beginning of the revolution. And, yeah. Some of the battle scenes are not accurate. Like not the wars themselves are the battle, like the wars that happened. The big on-field battles are, but like the little skirmishes and whatnot, like he was never involved in any skirmishes or anything like that. He would never. He's a general, right? But overall, yeah, I think I would give this movie maybe 3 G-stars out of 5, and that's being generous. And the cinematography is great. Like I said, the battle scenes are great. Just the movie itself is just so fucking silly, and like I said, it's unintentionally funny. It's not even... I mean, if you're a history buff and you just want to see these battles on film, just to say you've seen a Ridley Scott Napoleon battle on film, then I guess, yeah, go ahead and see it. Maybe wait for it to come out for free or find somewhere to watch it, like pirated. I watched it in IMAX. I spent $25 per ticket for myself and my fiance each. And, yeah, I was very, very, very bored. It's not as bad as Killers of the Flower Moon, though. I'll get to that tomorrow, the day after. I'll give you guys a review on that. Spoiler alert, I actually didn't finish the last half hour of the movie. That's how bad it was. But, yeah, that's Napoleon by Ridley Scott. The biopic, supposed biopic of Napoleon Bonaparte. But, like I said, it shouldn't be a biopic. It should be his greatest hits or his highlights. It's not a great movie, guys. Unfortunately, I'll give it 3, like I said, G-stars out of 5. And, yeah, so that's going to be it for that. But like I said, guys, I'm going to do a lot more of these. I can't wait. There's certain TV shows that are coming out that I'll do, episode reviews on. Hopefully they're things we watch and we can enjoy together and we can discuss. And, yeah. But as such, with all these videos, guys, if you've seen the movie or you have any thoughts on it, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what your ratings are. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. For sure, let me know down below. I'd love to have these kind of discussions. So, but with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video review. Hopefully you guys found it relaxing. And, yeah, so with that, everyone have a great day, great night, whatever it may be, and peace out.